Welcome to your 24 days of yoga challenge. This is your day 1 as well as 13, and we're going to focus on opening up the hips. So let's get started. To begin, bring your knees nice and wide on your mat and then plant your hands down in front of you. We're going to slowly start shifting the hips around into a circle. So you're moving the hips as far to one side as you can and dropping back to the heels, shifting your weight over to the other side and continuing that motion in one direction. So waking up the hips just a bit. And then we'll shift and go the other direction. So going opposite heel first. So this is just a free movement, really helping you bring awareness a bit to the hips, to the tailbone, as we start to move and open them as we go. So go ahead and do one more in that second direction. And then we'll untuck the toes. If you had those tucked, go ahead and stretch the arms straight out in front of you. Palms to the floor and press your hips back and settle into a child's pose. Now with an inhale, roll up onto the hands. So you're going to step your right foot forward and come up and outside of your right hand. So to the pinky side of the hand. Then press your hips forward and allow your foot to roll open. So the outside edge of your right foot is rolling open. And then from there, you're going to slowly lower your chest toward the floor just as far as you feel like you can, getting the stretch in the hip. And with an exhale, press your hands back. So we'll inhale to lower, exhale to press back. Don't worry if you can't go too far. You just want to feel that big stretch as you lower the chest, coming into the right hip. One more time as you lower. And then we'll exhale and step your right foot back. Now going the other way, so bring your left foot forward, again to the outside of your pinky finger. Shift your hips forward and then open again the hips, so roll to the outside edge of your left foot. Now we'll bring the chest in again, so lower the torso forward. Exhale to press back. So gently coaxing a new depth into the hips here. You will feel a restriction at some point. It could be right away, but just try to work into that restriction and focus on slight opening. Good, and then exhale, press back once again. We'll find our child's pose one more time with the knees wide and just shift your hips back to your heels. Now rise upward. Tuck your toes underneath and you're going to press your hips up to the sky and come into a downward facing dog. So with down dog, you want to push into the hands, lift your hips up high, really try to open up through the shoulders. But since we're trying to work on the hips here, think about tilting the tailbone up a little bit higher toward the sky, toward the ceiling, lengthening, and then lengthen as much as you can through the legs. So with an inhale, sweep your right leg up to the sky, bend your knee, and then keep lifting your knee up as you start to twist the body open. So your belly is opening up toward the right side. Keep lifting your knee, opening your hip. Breathe in. And then exhale, release your right foot down. We'll do the same with the left side then. So lift your left leg up, bend your knee. Again, we're gonna lift, twist, and open. Keep lifting upward. Good, and then exhale, release the left foot down. Now come up on the toes, step your feet forward with little baby steps, all the way up to the top of your mat. At the top then, you'll just exhale and round forward, releasing down into a forward fold. Now just take one giant step back so you're opening up toward the screen, or at least so you can see. And you're going to come into a wide stance with the feet. Then keep walking your hands to the back of your mat. Sit as low as you can into this back foot, and it's okay to have the heel lifted, but we're going to lengthen through the front leg. So sit deeply into the back, stretch through the front leg, and now walk the hands through center with an inhale, and exhale, release to the front leg. So again, sit into the hip, lengthen the back leg this time. Walking to the back again. Sit low. Inhale back through center and sit to the front. Now this time as we move through, we're going to shift our position slightly. So sink down to the back foot. Then we're going to turn our body toward the back, plant your hands on either side of the back foot, then spin on the back toes so we come into this lunge position. So you're going to drop the hips, feeling the stretch through the hips. Now we'll spin the body back. Toes will now point to the length of the mat, through center, now to the front. Turn again. That's it, then rotate back to the length of your mat. And we'll go one more time. So let's bring some breath in. Inhale through center, exhale to the back and turn. Now inhale again as we move back through center to the front of your mat and release and exhale. Beautiful. Now as you turn back once again, we'll come to the center of your mat. Now take the toes and you're going to turn them out wide. So your stance is wide, the feet are turned out, and then drop your hips as low as you can. So really dropping the hip bones down. Just feel a stretch through the inner thighs, feeling a nice opening to the hips. And if you keep the fingertips to the floor here. Now gently glide yourself left and right, back and forth. Then when we come back to center, you're going to keep the hips low, release the fingertips, and start to rise the torso upward as you keep the hips down. So the hip bones will stay down as our torso lifts. And with an inhale, just stretch the arms up to the ceiling. And exhale, we'll bring them right back down. And release hands to the floor. Push your bum to the sky, and you can give yourself a little shake out left and right. But now we'll turn and step back to the top of your mat. And just let everything release. So knees bend, torso folds, drop your head down and just rest there for a moment. Now bend your knees, step all the way back like you're in a plank position, and push your hips back one more time into your downward facing dog. Lifting high, extend through the whole body, tilt the hips to the sky. You bring your right knee into your nose now, and then bring your shin forward. So we're going to rest the shin on the mat and sit back. As we're sitting back though, we're going to take the back foot, so left foot, and extend it out as well. So we're looking for the front shin and the back thigh to be a similar angle, parallel to one another. Now turn your torso toward your front leg, and we're going to lean down and stretch into the hip. So find a big stretch and then release. Now we'll twist the body, bring the hands behind you, roll through your feet, and then drop the knees the opposite direction. So now the opposite shin and opposite thigh. And then you'll bring your torso forward again, stretching over your back thigh. Do this again, come up forward, rotate. Settle down and stretch into the front leg. And rise up one more time to the back. Good, now from there we'll go all the way back to center. Shift your weight. And then we're going to plant the hands down onto the mat. And take your back foot, extend it back behind you, and extend one more time into down dog. Then with the left leg now, we're just going to bring the knee to nose and bring the shin down again. We'll sit down, but from here, we'll actually bring the right leg all the way around and bring the soles of your feet in together. So soles of the feet in together, creating a diamond shape with the knees. You're going to sit up as tall as you can. Pull onto the ankles, lift the chest, and then gently pull yourself forward that you're rotating the torso. Pull forward and start to fold downward and release as far as you can through the spine, head, and neck. Breathe, release here. Once you have folded, try to take your arms, just rest the hands, rest them on your knees, just so you have gentle pressure to help ease the knees and the hips open. And then we'll inhale, rise up. Again, bring your hands behind you, and we'll drop one heel to the floor and drop the knee inward. Pull that back up. We'll swap to the other side. Heel down, bring the knee inward. Bring it back. We'll cross the legs then, sit up nice and tall. With an inhale, take a breath, reaching up to the sky and sealing the hands together. Take a big exhale of air out as you come down, hands to center. Nice and easy, 10 minutes to open the hips until day 2.